everyone. It is me and Kayla. It is me, C2, the host of The Spark, here on the Trident Network. And this is Kayla. Yo, we sparking. What up, Minecraft? We are sparking here on the Trident Network. Yes, you're sparked. Are you sparked? Are you sparked? Yes. Yes, she is sparked. There we go. And Smokey's here as well. Oh, yeah, I do know exactly what you mean. I do live that life. I do live a little bit of that life. Chat, we are here on the Trident Network, a three-pronged digital entertainment network. We do podcasts. We do live shows. We do... What else do? We do podcast live shows, and we do recorded videos on our YouTube, which you can find all the Spark shows on the YouTube. You can't hear your host if we were supposed to. She was cutting out a little bit. Kayla, can you talk a little bit? How is this, chat? I'm gonna turn her up. Okay. I can hear her. Nothing? You can't hear her? Oh, you know what? I know. Wait, hold up. We're doing the sources. We're fixing the sources. Properties. For desktop audio. It should be no audio from her. Why can I hear her?
Interesting.
Okay, how's this? Or Kayla,
what about now?
There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Now? No?
There it is. Okay, now we can hear her. Okay.
We're back. Hi, I'm Kayla.
Awesome. This is Kayla. This is my voice. Another member. Turning her down a little more because I turned you all the way up and now my headphones are... I was like, you can't hear her? I can hear her really well. Thank you, guys. Oh my God. I'm so glad you were here, because if you guys weren't here, we would have continued this show without being able to hear Kayla. And I am eternally grateful for all hilarious. Of you. And it would have been great. We could have dubbed it. It would have been hilarious. But we're here on the Trident Network, our three-pronged digital entertainment network. Kayla also has a show on the Trident Network. This is one of many link bombs. Hey, I love when you interviewed the mime. Yeah. Kayla has the show The Witching Hour every third Monday on the Trident Network, 8 p.m. Central, with our other friend M. And we are the two, what I like to say is we are the two woo-woo shows on the Trident Network. We're talking about the universe. We're talking about time. We're talking about energy. We're talking about astrology. We're talking about tarot and everything in between. We're talking about the universe and everything. It was only a matter of time. And then I got to get on the Witching Hour. I got to get on there.
Yes, you really do.
Get on there.
Revamping.
Are you revamping?
Well, we're revamping our style.
Yes!
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. We're having more segments, so we can get you on there.
Yes, I want to get on there. And it was only a matter of time. And then I got to get Em on here, too. It was only a matter of time before the Witching Hour hosts and the Spark hosts intertwined to become one. But I wanted to do an episode. I invited Kayla on to be on last month, but she was busy. So I was like, okay, let's do it next month. But it is always right on time, as we like to say. I wanted to do a show about going with the flow and living the GD life of your dreams. Living your own life. Yes, which we deserve. Exactly. And Kayla is to me doing just that, doing what she has set out to do. She's going to do it. But also helping others to do that as well is something that Kayla's about.
I really appreciate you saying that, because sometimes on the inside, it feels like you're actually doing nothing. You know what I mean? You're like, what is happening? Is anything right? Am I the silliest goat anybody has ever met? You know what I mean? Like, it feels very like that.
Yes. Am I a goat person?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I don't even think I'm human anymore. It's hard. It's hard to follow your dreams when we live in the current world, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance that comes with doing things that you feel is so right, especially in your own body, and then having all of this outside stuff kind of come in and be like,
yes,
you're wrong, but you're like, I really feel like I'm not wrong though. I really feel like I'm not wrong.
You're like, everything about my body is saying correct.
Yes.
But other things from my mind, this is a little woo-woo, but I will say
we're woo-woo.
My therapist, we're woo-wooing.
Yeah.
My therapist and I were talking about how it's like so important to like heal generational trauma and like connect with your ancestors. And I was like, well, I don't know if you have noticed, but I am white and I'm not sure I want to connect with a lot of my ancestors. You know what I mean? Like, hello, that was like at the beginning of my journry.
Pretty racist.
They might be terrible, you know. But something my therapist said that I thought was like a very interesting redirect was they were like, yeah, but that's because they were in their physical bodies. When you die, you no longer have all these traps and forms of like the real world. So really all you're connecting with is that energy like came out of them. So like energy was to protect their family or family to be successful. Like you can grab onto that and not acknowledge and like rework and heal through the trauma and maybe issues that they had, but like still take that like love and moving forward. And I was like, that's what I needed to hear. You know what I mean? Because I sometimes don't like a lot of people who are even still alive in my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so funny that you bring that up because I think about that too, how like they say like a lot of the healing in the healing space, it's like if you're a lot of the time you're like a black sheep or like you're the youngest of your generation, or there's like a lot of like similar patterning where it's like you have been tasked with healing a lot of people's trauma, not through healing your own, but that's you're dealing, what you're healing is your trauma is just all the generations trauma stored in your body. So when you heal yourself, then you get to heal all those people. But there is like a resentment for being like, like specifically me with my immediate family, because I'm not even like I haven't tried to like connect with my like older ancestors, although I know that I have connected with them through time because that's how it works.
Yeah.
But there is like this indignant resentment for being like, because I feel like anybody who's woken up at all, at first you feel this like rush of euphoria and you're like, oh my God, I'm everything and everything is me and I'm one with the universe and all of like time, like I am on purpose and all of my time. And then you like continue to heal. And then there's like, oh my God, if only I could have known that when I, was a little child, but I have to deal with all these human issues of trauma because I was incarnated in the human experience. And there's this like resentment that I'll get sometimes, like, fucking have to heal my whole bloodline is dumb. Can I just hang out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why I say in this, obviously everything I say, take what resonates with you and leave the rest, because not everything is for everyone, as we learn. But that's why, honestly, I really, in my close circle of friends and stuff like that, I encourage them to spend at least a year away from like your home environment, what you grew up in. And you have to at least spend a year away from your family, like distance wise and communication wise, because riddle me this, how are you about to heal and where you got that trauma? How are you going to heal if you're staying in that same environment?
The knife is still in your back.
It's still there. You're bleeding. You're currently bleeding and you're trying to cover up all these other wounds,
Yes. Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild to be alive.
Yeah. Oh, every day I'm like, do we really do this? Especially right now. The news cycle, the things that are happening in the world. I mean, I think that's the other thing about that is like the horrors have always been. We just know about them all so much every day. But
yeah. I don't know if you know this, Carly, before I moved to Chicago to do like comedy and tarot and all of this stuff, I actually worked as a journalist in DC.
I didn't know that.
And I did it. I was able, in my college program, I was able to like spend my last semester working, and then I got hired after that. So I spent my first year after college working in DC, and I was like, oh, I will say trigger warning. I was like, I might kill myself if I stay
Oh
here.
my
You know what
God,
I
because it
mean?
was so
It was,
much.
it's
Because
very
it
a
was
lot.
so
It's very,
much.
well, it's very a lot. And I think that like what we're talking about, like news, it's like, especially if we're talking about how we flow through the world, it is so important to be protected. And I did not feel like I could protect myself in that
Mm.
environment,
While
right?
putting
Because
yourself
it's like
in
we
that
have to, we
environment.
can't turn a, yeah, we can't, I think, we can't turn a blind eye to what's going on. You are allowed to regulate, right? Like how much
Yes.
information you get, but you can't be in it because it like overwhelms your systems, and then you can't move, you can't help, you can't be on, whatever healing journeys you might be on.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. We're walking a fine line right now, I think, with everything of all the information that we're getting and how we can help people, how we can understand grief and give people space to grieve, and also like be moving forward in like progressive ways. It's hard to flow, right? We have a lot of obstacles.
Yes. And like learning, and I feel like humanity as a whole is relearning how to. There's this weird idea, and I think that's just like general era shit where we're like pretending that we're not human beings like for so long, right? We're like
Yes.
very
Yeah.
very like buttoned up, very like repressing all of our human urges, and like that can only go on for so long until there's like a breaking through of not doing that. And I
Totally.
see like a lot more people, and I think that's what's happening is like everybody's like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to repress ourselves and torture ourselves and like stay silent about things
Yeah.
that we see they're wrong. And like, so it's like there's a lot of like breaking through of like the ability to even
Yeah.
do like even just like something as simple as like being able to go to the bathroom when you need to go to the bathroom. And like when if I
Absolutely.
have to go to the
Absolutely.
bathroom, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Like, and like letting
Yeah.
kids do that
Yeah.
shit, and not like
It's
pressing
yes, it's
down on
wild to
everybody.
think. Yes, it's wild to think about how much our world is set up to kind of manipulate and brainwash us, right,
Yeah.
into like a certain like filtered way, right? And so I was thinking too, like the hardest part I think of being maybe amongst company like us or people who think this like us, or people maybe further in their journey and stuff like that, is it's so hard to be patient for other people, right? To like catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what you were saying, maybe, I don't know if this will resonate with you, but with your family, I feel specifically that way with my family, that it's always like so much of the healing process is like, or at least for me, is like learning about patience, right? Learning to like meet
Yeah.
people where they are, even though that is unfair to you
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And like navigating that, I'm kind of like, okay, you're kind of messing with my flow, but you're in my house.
But
You know
I
what I
know
mean? You have
better.
to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, that's why I just think it's so we are in such an interesting time too. Like we have Pluto, kind of this like mysterious death transformation planet, making its final movement through Capricorn, which is very straightforward. And so I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like we're having a shift in the way that we're thinking. We're having a shift. So hopefully, um, our patience we'll reap the benefits of that, and hopefully the
Yes.
end of the year will kind of swing people to move a little bit faster. Come on, honey.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you said that, because that is a thought. I am a slow poke, as it were. I'm a very like I'm like I like to take my time. I like there to be time, but there is also not, you don't have all the time. Nobody has all the time in the world. Like that's just not
Yeah,
how it
and
works. Like we're gonna die.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. What you're reminding me, the way you're talking is reminding me of the Wheel of Fortune tarot card, where it's like like a circle, and like people are like
Yes.
walking, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like a reminder that one, time does not wait for everyone. You know what I mean? You have a
No.
window, and
Time
whether
does
you like
not
it or
wait.
not, the wheel of time is keep moving.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to protect yourself, to flow, to listen to your body. And I think that always starts with having like meaningful space for yourself. I would have never been able to flow if I didn't like learn how to be alone. You know what I mean?
Was that like your first like foray into like, okay, wait, I need something. Like I need to be alone. Was it
Yes.
like I need my own
Yeah.
time. I need to be push my like put I feel like everybody like goes into the hermit
Yeah.
mode. Yeah.
Yes. I always laugh because Carly knows this, I'm a double Pisces and a Capricorn rising. So I always joke that I have like a really rich inner life. Like I love being in myself.
I'm
But
really
that
rich in real life.
changed. I would say, yeah. So don't worry, I'll entertain myself. But I was noticing around actually when I was starting my Saturn return, so maybe like 27, 28, that my alone time, I was feeling different and not a way that I was obsessed with. I was feeling maybe you'll understand this, or maybe some people in the chat will feel something similar. I noticed that I was feeling really bored in a way that I had never. It was a new sensation of bored. Um, and as I kind of deep dived in therapy and through my like tarot and meditation practices, I was like, oh, I'm actually really lonely. Like the boredom was coming from this like intense loneliness. And it wasn't that I wasn't around people. In Chicago, I literally was like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like we're so lucky to have such a great community out there. But I was like, wow, I'm feeling lonely because I am not sure who I am, right? I'm not sure the type of communities I want to build. I'm not sure the type of people I want to be around, the type of people I want to date. And it was like, I didn't understand that this boredom was coming from a deep misunderstanding of myself. And like not like allowing myself to be truthful, right? To like really speak what I actually wanted, because I feel like there were so many ways of how I was raised, where I was, my own self-esteem, my own journey, that I was like, I'm scared to say what I actually want out loud. So that was like the biggest boundary for me to kind of push through, to be like, I'm feeling bored because one, that's depression, and it's because of this loneliness, which is also depression. I also have OCD, so it was just like a lot of different things, and I was like, damn, I need some different kind of alone time. Yeah.
Then what was the alone time? What was like what changed?
Yeah, so because I also am so annoying, is what I would say. I was especially annoying pre-Saturn return. And I was like, I don't like meditation because why? Like, I'm bored, or like, I can't just sit down. Like, I can never be a monk. I can never do all these things. But that was actually because I was very, I had only really researched or been introduced to like meditation through a white lens, right? Through like whiteness and through like this Americanized culture. And once I started looking into it, I was like, meditation does not have to be you just sitting staring at a candle or like sitting listening to music. And I like started calling it every morning. I would have 20 minutes of imagination time.
Yes.
So, I honestly, and this is, everybody has to take care of themselves in, ways that feel truthful to them. But I would smoke weed with like some herbs that I was like, oh, mugwort, is supposed to help you connect with your ancestors and lucid dreaming, or, mullein does this or that. And so I started like smoking a little bit of
mixing
weed
it in
with like an herbal like intention. So I kind of have like
you can put other herbs. You can smoke like other stuff that's not weed, which I didn't know.
Listen, weed is just an herb. Weed is just another herb. Yeah, there are some unsmokable ones. So of course, read, But yeah, that's something me and my partner did in the pandemic. We were just like, we need to heal in different ways. Weed is not just cutting it, and it just made my experience and my routine with smoking feel. Again, it made me feel less lonely, right? I was like less bored in that. And it was like very intentional for myself. And it also felt like I was like connecting with nature. It was just different than anything that I had like really done before. But yeah, so I just smoked that and be like, okay, I'm setting a timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to listen to like a certain frequency that I'm trying to feel the day. And then it's like, I'm going to imagine, I'm going to see if I see when I close my eyes, I'm going to think of maybe a script I want to write of like stand up or whatever. And it was like so much more freeing than sitting down and having to meditate, and like through that, then I was just like, oh, wait, I'm way more present. Oh, wait, this is what they're talking about when they talk about meditation. Like all these other things started kind of like to fall away that I needed. And then it was like, I guess I had never been so clear about myself. It was really crazy. It feels like the Matrix. So really that movie
and
was spot on.
It's like, well, because you're spending time with yourself, and I think we think that being alone, and that's especially like, I'm like to be alone. Like, I'm like, oh, I love being alone. Hee hee, I can do my things.
Yeah.
But like really, really when you're with yourself, like meditation allows you to be quiet. And the reason that you're quiet is because there's all this stuff happening that that a lot of the time, like for me, it was like, I got to push that down. I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to address that. Addressing that is scary. And it is scary. There's still times when I'm like sitting there and I'm like looking, I'll do like a consciousness meditation, which is just me observing that I am conscious, like observing all the ways that I am consciously alive right now. And I'm looking around and there's these like ideas and all these things that are like, I don't want to be thinking those things, but it's like, if you allow those things to come up and then you don't do anything about it, you just allow them to come up, you understand then what your brain is doing. And then when they come up in a time when it's like, I'm not sitting alone in my room, I'm in the middle of a train station right now, and those thoughts come up, you're training yourself to then know, oh, I know about these thoughts. I sit with these thoughts sometimes. I know what to do when it happens. Like, they'll never stop. Like, your brain is never going to stop. That's the other thing that I learned too about meditation, which it's like, it's anything that you need it to be. So it can be one day it's transcendental, one day it's Vedic, one day whatever. It can be whatever meditation you like, imagination time. And then the other thing is that, like, you're never going to turn your brain off. Don't think that you're ever doing it to turn your brain off. You can't. Your brain is thinking because that's its job. It's doing its job. You're just getting used to it doing whatever it's doing and allowing to like move through and around and not. And the other thing about it too, which is hard for me, is like trying to like stamp it out, like stop doing that, stop, and like trying to like bully your brain into behaving a way that it's not going to behave if you're bullying it into like, it's like there's ways to reprogram your brain, but yelling at it and avoiding it is not one of the ways that'll help.
Yes, I do that that's something I struggle with so much, and I'm like, okay, this is also like really rude to me. Like,
yes. Oh my God.
The only one being so rude to myself. You know what I mean? Because I feel like something that I talk with my therapist a lot is that I am always waiting for permission. And I think that was something about me deciding, like, I was like, I'm going to read tarot professionally. I'm going to do this stuff. And I don't know. I was like, why was I waiting? You know what I mean? Like, I really had to do a lot of work on myself. And to open those channels, right, of like being more open, being able to like veer off the road that maybe I saw my life going, and kind of being like, I truly am a co-creator with the universe, and like being the things, like I've done what I need, and I really have to be open to the universe kind of like taking that on. It's kind of like fire, right? If you hold a fire too tight, you suffocate it and it goes out. Right? We kind of have to like let it be loose. And that to me was really scary. It felt very scary.
It is so scary. It's the scariest thing, because you think that if you're not doing something all the time, everything will stop. But and we talked about how we both got laid off in February. After I got laid off, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, and there was like this moment where I was like, I'm just gonna let it ride. Like, I was kind of like,
let's just
like looking around, like, if nobody, like, because like I'd finally felt like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I feel like it's gonna be okay. And there was this moment where I was just like, I'm just gonna like let go and like let it and see and like respond and go with what's happening, and not like try and like, and it was really keeping that like panic, because like obviously like not having a job is scary.
Terrible. Yeah.
And like, but like trusting myself to make the decisions as they come, and not being like, oh my God, I'm like, and like understanding like when you're safe too, which is another thing that helps me with meditation, is like being like, I'm safe. Like, I'm okay. Like nothing is wrong right now. I'm not getting attacked by a tiger or getting hit by a bus right now. Like, I'm totally okay.
Totally.
And then like, and I think going with the flow too, and this is the other thing me and you probably like, we spark it. What's up, coolest? I think there is this level of flightiness that can come with like, oh, I just go with the flow. I don't want to, and like I've been guilty of that, but I've also been very cognizant of that. Because to me, going with the flow
Yeah.
isn't just like, I do whatever I want, man. Like, that's not what, and that's like the caricature. I also feel like that caricature is like a caricature from people who are very controlling, and they feel like going with the flow is like that.
Yes.
But I'm like, that, I don't know, because like, if you're too rigid, even if you have a plan, if you're too rigid and you don't listen to what's actually happening, your plan's not going to work out anyway. Like, plans fall through all the time.
All the time.
You got to be able.
I think it's so, yes. And it's so interesting you're bringing that up, because we are, you know, in Libra season, and
Yes.
Libra's counter is just card. And so justice, I feel like sometimes when people see, they are thinking, law and order, gavel, gavel, you know, but really, ultimately, it's like about, fairness, right? It's about the balance and the harmony. So like, we have to have this balance and harmony, even when we're, you know, talking about like, we're going to be so rigid, but you have to go with the flow. I think that's why, again, to be a little woo-woo girly, that's why I think like moon cycle can be so cool, because it's like a way to check in with that balance and harmony, right? So it's like Libra season, we're kind of talking about like personal independence. We're talking about finding justice for ourselves, but that doesn't mean to like be an asshole to everybody else.
No,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's talking about like observing and being like, oh, if that person, wait, can we curse on here? Is that
you can curse.
Is this a rated?
Yeah.
No. It's like, okay, that person was like a fucking asshole to me. Like, I'm not going to be an asshole back to them. I'm going to go ahead and put up this boundary now.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to go ahead. I'm like, I see you. I'm writing it down in my mental
got
bank.
it. I got it.
How am I creating justice and fairness and harmony for myself, right? And so I think that's so interesting, because like what you were saying, when people are like having that caricature of people going with the flow, I'm like, honey, you're just unbalanced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to have like everything. The universe is all about having both. That's why I think, as far as like going with the flow and being kind, finding your flow in your own life, you have to be so kind to yourself.
Oh,
and you have to realize,
Kayla, I literally have the word compassion.
Good and bad. Honey, that's this month.
Yes.
Well, and it's like good and bad is a binary. Good and bad is a binary, and binaries do nothing but trap us, right? Everything is actually a spectrum, right? You can have a good intention and it can still be a bad outcome. Somebody can have a bad intention, but it can still make you learn something, right?
To our like perspective, the universe is chaos. Like, our version of order is so small and inconsequential against the backdrop of like what, like, we're on a spinning rock that's hurtling through empty like space. Like, that's
and
real.
Here's what I'll say about that's what we understand of what's even happening.
Yeah, what we can even perceive.
Like, yeah, it's like, give us what, like another 100 years and we'll probably understand it completely different. So it's like, even being open to like, I actually don't know. I actually don't know anything. You know what I mean? I think like allowing yourself to experiment more too, like having that fun, go with the flow child, like the sun tarot card energy, but also along with that, like emperor and like maybe like the Hierophant energy of like, we have to have tradition, we have to have foundation and safety. That way we feel safe to play and experiment with our lives, right?
Yes.
Because otherwise, how do you flow? Otherwise you're like this, forcing everything, not being kind to yourself, you know, being like, I should be more go with the flow. I should, you know, have more of a stick up my ass. Like,
yes, yeah. Like, you're like, I'm not flowing enough. Why aren't I flowing? Like, it's very much, both and.
Yes. Well, of course, when people come to me for tarot readings, I feel like this is maybe like a big emotion that a lot of people come through. They're like, I'm not flowing, or I don't understand. And always, my advice is like, how much time do you spend by yourself a week? How much time are you in clear, right? We can't, of course you're going to be confused when there's so much noise. You know what I mean? I'm deaf in my left ear, and I consider that one of my superpowers. You know, like being able to like truly tune out and be like, damn, there is so much chatter that I am lost within myself. Like, what is me and what is everybody else? I think that is, how can you flow if you're just there at that base level, you know?
Well, and I find it interesting too. I love that you shared about you actually intentionally spending time alone, because I feel like that's how a lot of people who are like, I need to clear something out, that is like whatever they're doing, whatever practice that they pick up, whatever kind of like, whether it's meditation or woodworking or knitting or whatever, where it's like I am specifically like coming down into myself to hear myself.
Yes.
And then to tune
and
myself as necessary.
And feel your body. I feel like we live in a world that really encourages us to separate our mind from our body, when really, if you look at ancient medicine and like all the, it's all of the stuff that we need, it's together, honey. They're sending signals, they're figuring it out.
It's
but
together,
when we're
honey.
always going, 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 you know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Yeah. How the fuck are you supposed to do that? You know? And that's why also, like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, going against, like, we were talking about like not being able to go to the bathroom, and like just things that it's like we're like continually like pushing against like our own instincts, and like the like reversal of that, and then trying to find how you can like continuously go towards like what you need and who you are and what you want.
Yes.
And realizing that, like you said, like realizing how scared you are to do that, and like not even thinking that you were scared until you're like, okay, well, you want all this stuff, or you're thinking you are going towards all this stuff, like, and being like, oh, I was scared. I was been scared to do this.
For me, it was always like, oh, I was being such a bitch because I was so fearful. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of that energy as well. Yeah. I was going to say too, because we were talking before, about being laid off and like finding what you really want to do. And that's why I think the next step after like sitting and really fully not fully, how we'll probably never fully understand ourselves in this lifetime, but what we can do, understanding yourself, and then moving forward and find communities that that are aligned with you in that way. Because I believe, okay, and take this or don't take it.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Money and community are like the same frequency.
Yo, I too.
Money and community are the same frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because it's flowing, right? It's always flowing. And that's why finding, we can't be around people who we would never grow if that happened. Yeah. We have to be around people who vibe with you, right?
Yes.
Like we're going to be speaking a similar language to you, because you can't waste your time teaching somebody a different language and then expect them to be on the same level.
Always.
That's just like not, that's rude to that person. That's rude to you. It's just not fair, right? But so, because then when you're flowing like that, I believe that that's why, my money is your money. My money is my partner's money. But like their money is mine, because we're all going to be helping each other out. And that's how you flow. And that's why I think, I'm really redefining, I think, what community meant to me, because I grew up in the church, which I will say is a cult. I believe I grew up in a cult.
Yeah.
I believe that I was, that's, that's a fact to me. But so like relearning what community means and understanding that it isn't a trauma bond. It isn't like, there isn't like this hierarchy of things. You know what I mean? So I think like also relearning that has really changed my perspective on material things, I guess, and how they flow to you as well. Yeah. Yeah.
There's this, have you ever read, it's such a good book. What is it called? Sacred Economics.
No, but my therapist just made me a book list. And
Dude, Sacred Economics. And his name's Charles Eisenstein. He just has a lot of really good ideas about the use of like money and the use of resources and the way we think about them. Because I think like you're, and you talked about, what's Pluto doing?
Oh yeah, Pluto is making its final exit through Capricorn.
Okay, so we're redefining like material stuff.
Who has power? Yeah, redefining who has power, how money flows, how community flows. Like it's like a redefinition of all of that, because Pluto is kind of like the transformation planet. Yeah, it's kind of rebirth. It's a little spooky vibes, and it's going through straightforward Capricorn, which also Capricorn is going to make sure their bag is protected. Is going to make sure community flows. Because I think we used to be, we have been in a very individualistic kind of mindset with stuff like that, especially in my white communities. It's very much been like that as well. So I think it's time for us, we're learning something different, and we're you can see the way people are talking,
Yes.
the way, you know, with all the strikes that have been happening, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing more strikes even as the year ends and in the first of the next year. Astrologically, it's kind of set up for that way. So it'll be very interesting.
There's definitely a huge shift, but I appreciate the shift. I think I've always felt there's things, I don't know if you felt this, but there's things that I've always felt where like, I'm like, that's dumb. Like there's things where I'm like, that's not helpful. Why do we do it like that? Why do we do it like this? Why do we do it like this? And now it feels like so many more people are like, yeah, why do we do it like this? Yeah, why don't we do it something? Yeah, here. And then there's also all these people who are like, hey, I have a plan. I thought of all this other different stuff that we could do. And it's like, oh my God, I know how to implement that plan. And it's like, everybody's like, yeah. Let's just not do the stuff that doesn't work anymore. Let's just redefine the way we think about stuff a little bit.
You're really seeing, absolutely, I 100% agree, because you're really seeing these like indigo children grow up, right?
Yes.
All these kids that were like, wait, what? Why? Like, you know,
dumb.
However much shit like millennials get, I'm 31, right? So however much shit, I was like, but I was always asking questions and I always didn't understand. And now I'm understanding why that was happening, because that's, how do you make change if you don't understand?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's also that the idea that like
get what's going on.
The solution is not going to be in the frequency of the problem. And I think that's like the most like, that's like the key thing about like people think like, I'm a weirdo, I'm a freak. And it's like, we need you to be a weirdo freak, because this stuff that's not weirdo freak stuff is killing us. Whatever it is, it's not working.
Exactly. And if you're wrapped up in the frequency of the way the world is going right now and not sitting, learning about yourself, being scared and understanding that you shouldn't be fearful of it, you're going to keep going down that track, right? We all have the choices to make. The choices are absolutely yours. You get to choose what you heal, but honey, get on the bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the universe
new bandwagon.
Yeah. And like,
you're going to be catching up. You're going to be catching up regardless. So you can either go now or you can catch up later and do it and have a harder job time.
Yeah, something has to change. Yes, Quillis. And I think everybody feels that. And like, I think the thing that brings me solace, I don't know if this brings you solace, Kayla, but the thing that brings me solace is like when you change yourself, that reverberates out. It does. It's not, I think some of us are worried that we have to change. I have to go be a senator if I want to change it. Yeah. But it's like, if you change yourself and the things that you feel you need to change about you in terms of like, I want this to be better for myself, or I want this to be better for my family, or here are these things that I have control over that I think I could make better, or in a way that I feel would be better. That changes everything around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It changes like all of the things.
Yes. Something my therapist said to me, because I was really struggling with stuff with my family and just feeling like, I was like, I'm doing so much fucking emotional labor and they're not judging at all.
Speaking my language.
Which they're all on their own journey. Yeah. Whatever. They're where they are, whatever. But like my therapist was like, well, you know, sometimes you can try out being a teacher, but after that, you just have to be a person. And sometimes like the education part, like that's stuff that you're putting on yourself when really they observe you. They see you living your life. The best thing you can do is just keep fucking living. You know what I mean? You have to keep moving. And I was like, God damn it, Ada, you did it again.
She's right,
you know,
Ada.
Like, yeah, Ada, we love you. Yeah.
We love Ada.
Yes. But I also think kind of what we're talking about, if you don't mind me going on a little astro tangent really quick. We are changing. So eclipses happen kind of like in this in-between spaces. They're a little bit hard to point out, but they go through, it's like, a year or two, right? We're like we'll be in these different cycles. And we're just on Saturday, we just changed into a new eclipse season cycle. So we closed out Taurus, Scorpio, and now we're going into Aries, Libra. And so it's all about like personal independence and how you understand that and take it into your community so that it can grow. So something as I was studying that I think is so interesting that I'm really going to be trying to keep on my heart for this next year of cycle is that like a stronger understanding of yourself, or like faith in yourself and understanding of yourself, leads to stronger connections, to stronger communities. Like that, like being you and standing that is like, you don't have to do anything else. You know what I mean? What is it already meant for you. Like what you're saying, like not everybody can be a congressperson, right? If everyone was doing that, then we would still be in this one field of this broken political parties that we have, right? But it's like maybe somebody can be a streamer, right? Maybe somebody can be a TikTok. Like there's so many different facets of like being yourself and like being like, this is what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing in this moment. And you're allowed to change that. That's allowed to change in the future. But you just have to like understand what you're about and put that in the world. And that's like going to be the lesson of really finding how that fits in a community and maybe finding out that it doesn't fit in the community that you have currently. But that's okay. We're always allowed to reassess relationships. We're always allowed to like reassess where we are. You can move. You can look at your astrocartography. Where are your lines? You know, there's a lot of different things that can help you, but you have to be your hero. You know what I mean? Like this next year is all about you being your personal hero.
There's no one's
that's, like,
coming.
Exciting.
No one else is coming.
No one's
it's you.
Coming, push it in the mirror.
And the version of you that you are right now is the one who's your hero. It's not some different, because as you allow yourself to exist and as you accept and like embrace the parts of you that you've like learned and been told to push down, all of the things like it like evens everything out. Like it's like as long like if you're accepting and being yourself, everything comes. But it is scary to change ways that you've been the whole time, and to see. I'm in a position right now where I'm seeing all the ways in which I have not been being myself and how that hurts me. And like, and I am cognizant as it plays out, and I'm like, oh my God. And like watching yourself like make decisions where you're like, oh my God, my sweet baby.
Like, why did I do that?
Yeah. Like why am I doing that? And like, that's like, it's hard to move through that. But knowing that, like, it's okay, I'm here for you. It's okay.
You're teaching yourself. Mm-hmm. You're teaching yourself something, right?
Yes.
That's why, because we are October, like spooky season.
It's spooky season.
I'm like Celtic by heritage, like when you go way, way back. So I've been trying to like look into like the folklore and all that kind of stuff. And it is, I will say I've been kind of studying this goddess called Hecate. Mm-hmm. And she is like, it's like the 3-person. And that has been making me think of, we all know time is fake, and I feel like I've learned so much from my like past self, my like inner child, and I'm like, but I'm never really asking for help from my future self. Whoa, you know what I mean? I always forget that we have those 3. Like, not only is Trident a 3-pronged network, we are as well as individuals, right? We have our
3,
past
6,
self,
9.
our present self, and and our future self, and we can call on those energies. Like, if somebody has asked me, like, how do you call on your future self? Sometimes when I'm in a really hard situation, I'll sit in my meditation and I'll be like, what would the wisest version of myself say? Like, what would 80-year-old Kayla say to this? And maybe it's not 100% the right answer. Who fucking knows? I won't know probably till I'm 80 if it's the right answer. But it does give me a different perspective, right? And it does open me up to maybe this like wiser energy that I wasn't just bringing in the present moment of myself. It's been fun. It's been fun and spooky.
I love
and cool.
that. I love doing that.
Yeah.
What's funny about what you're saying right now, sometimes I'll do that, but I'll do that as me to past me. So I'll be like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. You're going to
It's like leaving breadcrumbs. You're like, I promise.
It's all going to work out. Don't worry. It's all working out. It's all working out. And I feel like I'm giving myself advice, but like that feeling when you like gave someone advice and they really appreciate it. Like I give that to myself, and I'm like sending those like breadcrumbs back because I know that's how I got here. So like you're being like, I'm talking to 80-year-old me, and I'm like, fuck yes, you can talk to 80-year-old you.
Well, that's what it is. That's having faith in yourself, right? That's making you a stronger person for your community. That's making you a more wise person for your community. It's making you more open to different perspectives and stuff like that. And honey, how do you flow if you're not open? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. I like to think of it like my favorite imagery of flow and like allowing things to happen is like if you had like an open palm and a butterfly landed in your open palm, you don't squeeze to keep the butterfly, because if you try and squeeze to keep the butterfly, you'll kill the butterfly. So you allow the butterfly to alight on your palm and let it fly away when it does, because knowing that like if it's supposed to come to me, it will. And then if you leave your palm open, it's open for as many butterflies as can land in your palm, as will land in your palm.
Exactly.
But if you crush them, they will die in your palm. So you can't hold on so tight.
Yes. Yeah. And this is also allowing, because like, what if you, like, you're still like, you're like, oh, I think I'm going to go catch butterflies. But what if there was like actually really beautiful moths out there for you as well? Right. You also have to be open to allow things that you can never even imagine. Me, girl, moths are my favorite, because, okay, wait, can I tell you my little analogy that actually Donald Glover said in an interview that like changed my life?
Okay, yes, I love this.
Yeah, he was saying that he like really loves moths, and this is why I love moths too, because moths, you know, tiny little animals. They only really know like one thing. They don't have like crazy consciousness like us. So everything in their whole being is saying, I have to follow the moon. The moonlight is how I migrate. It's how I hunt. It's how I do. But so many moths every year die at light posts, at lamp posts, at things that look like the moon, because they decided to stay there instead of listening to themselves, feeling like something.
The moon.
Yeah, they let these other distractions stop them, and that's how they stay stagnant and die, right? Because they can't migrate, they can't do those things. So I'm like,
oh my God, that hit me. That hit me right. Oh God. Oh God.
I know. So it's like, if you have to listen to yourself, right? You have to be open to moving and changing and growing. It's all about balance and harmony, the ebbs and flows, right?
Peaks and valleys. Do you have any notable moth moments from this year that you can think of that were like moments?
I will say, I side hustle again. Everyone, book a tarot reading for me and an astrology chart reading, whatever you would like to do, because I bartend as a side hustle, and I would love to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But whenever I was working a kind of rougher party, I was not set up for success, and the people were very rude. But it was just like I was like, okay, I literally can just leave. You know what I mean? Like, I can just leave. And I was like feeling really bad about it, but I was just feeling gross, and like it wasn't a good situation or whatever. People were kind of getting overserved, and I was kind of like, we just need to close the bar. It just needs to be done. And then I saw a little moth just like fall down, and that to me, I was like, you got to move on. That was the right choice.
Oh my God, an actual moth moment.
Going. And it ended up really great. Yeah, and they ended up like, I think like after I left, like the cops were called, and like it was like all this big situation, and I was like,
you just left.
That's fucking it. And I just like, well, because I was just like, oh, well, because it was like, they were just hiring me as a bartender. So it was all of their alcohol, and they had run out of the alcohol. You know what I mean? So I'm like, even though I'm supposed to be here for another hour, like people were bringing their own alcohol in, and I was like, I don't feel you know what I mean? It was just too much.
Yeah.
Right. But I think I'm so glad. I think 10 years ago, the version that I was of Kayla would not have left.
No, yeah.
Right? I would have felt like I had to stay there. It was my job. Yeah. It was, you know, I would lose my job, but I was like, honestly, fuck this job. I'm more important than anything. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to get arrested or get in trouble for like whatever is happening, you know?
That's an actual
but that moth was just like, the moth was just like outside, and it was dark. And so it like flew in like where the beers and stuff were. And I was like, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. Yes. I love those moments where you're like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave.
Yes,
I'm going to leave.
Have you had a moth moment? A moth moment? Is that what we should call it?
That's a moth moment. I always thought that I was like afraid to travel. Or that I didn't want to travel. I always thought I don't want to travel, but like going places is like the thing about going places is you go places and you come back like more yourself almost. So it's not even really about like being out and like doing the thing is so fun. It's so fun to do new stuff and things that you've never done before. But it's the coming home and like feeling more yourself that I found. I was like, oh, that's why people like to travel so much, because you come home and you're like, oh my God, it's me. And when I got laid off and I was unemployed and I was just like chilling, and my good friend Verdsky, who's on Twitch, who I met from Twitch, she was having a surgery. And she was like, oh, we might have to hire a maid to help us around the house because I'm going to be out of commission. And I was like, oh, I wish I could come help you, because she lives in Canada. She lives in Montreal. And I was like, oh, I wish I could come help you because I'm not doing anything. And she was like, oh my God, that would be so fun. And then she asked her boyfriend, and he was like, yeah, she should come help us. So then they flew me out there to come help them. But it was a moment of me being like, I said, I wish I could come help you. Yeah, I said it. And like, there have been times in my life where I've said things that I wanted, but then I was like, no, I can't do that thing. And like, there was a version of me that would have been like, no, I need to find a job and I'm unemployed. You know, I can't be going to Montreal. Like, fuck this. I'm going to go to Montreal to help my friend and hang out and meet her and help her.
That other option would have blocked your flow.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
You allowed yourself to have that. Yeah.
And there are those moments where you think
did it.
logically, yes. And you think logically, like, I shouldn't do this. Like, logically, I shouldn't do this. But it feels right. Like, it feels like you should, though. And I went, and it was great.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, because
I helped them out.
I'll say it again.
We got to meet each other.
Tattoo this on my head.
Tattoo it on my head.
Faith in yourself leads to stronger communities.
That's true.
You did that. You did that.
And she's one of my best friends, but it did bring us closer together. It did bring us closer together and fuel our friendship, and it was really nice to go help my friend. Like, it was really great.
Yes. No, that's what I was saying. You were creating intentional community with people that flow and have the same values as you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
That's how we got to do it, guys. There are so many people in the world, and we live in such a time. We're living in such a renaissance of like, things don't have to be in the traditional sense anymore. You can have online friends. You can go completely offline and live in the jungle forever. Like, there's so many different options, and like, whatever is right for you is what you're supposed to be doing. There's no right and wrong. There's the only wrong thing is for you to shut yourself down, right? Is for you to block yourself from doing the things. All of our dreams that were given to us, Carly, your dreams are different than mine. My dreams are different than people in the chat. Like, we were all given a unique version of that. And I really do feel like those are promises to you. Right. And it's just your choice, your decision. Of course, we live with a ton of obstacles. We live in an imperfect world with capitalism and racism and homophobia. But that's why it's so important to create these intentional communities where you can feel safe, and so that your dreams feel safe to like manifest. Right. And that you can bring that out and live the life that you fucking deserve to dream. You deserve to be happy. You deserve for your dreams to come true. And it's so fucked up that things would stand in the way for that. So get your warrior vision on it.
Yeah.
You know, put some dynamite in that mountain or something. Get it out of the way.
Put some dynamite in that mountain. Blow it up.
Right?
Make the tunnel.
Make that tunnel they were whatever they did in the days of doing that.
Whatever they did in the days of doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I think it's funny that like a lot of the like, for me at least, the going within and being silent with myself translates into change outside of me, which they tell you it does.
Absolutely.
And you're like, how? And it does.
And it's so up that it's right. That it's right.
It's fucking stupid that every cliche is true. It's dumb. Yeah. But if it's simple and it sounds true, it probably is.
Yes. And I will say, just to plug myself again, because we do live where we live. I also have done, I do like specialized meditations or meditation prompts for people too. Oh, which is so fun.
That's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, you kind of like tell me what you want to be gaining for that month, that week, whatever. And I like record a little meditation for you, and then I have some little affirmations for you. It's like really fun. A great way to like change, just direct the energy differently, you know, let you flow in a different way, open you, and we all deserve to be open and to flow in whatever ways feel right for us in that moment.
And that's what is that on your website?
So whatever I can do to help. Yeah, so on my website, you can do the bookings, and then you can just put a query in there and tell me what you want. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. I love using tarot, oracle, astrology, meditation, all that stuff. It's all of the things, you know, we need it all. We're so lucky to have so much knowledge out there that can be in our fingertips that we can learn about, that we can find new communities with. So let's do it all.
We're gonna do it all. Kayla, this is a perfect segue into your gifts. Would you like to? What are you feeling? Would you like to? Divine a message?
I have my tarot cards.
Yeah, you want to divine a message?
Like a one card pull?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have my beautiful stained glass cards. So I'm very excited. These are some of my favorite ones. Okay, so then I would say let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in. And on this exhale, just let some worries roll off your shoulders. Know that the universe is conspiring in your favor. And let's see some messages we can have maybe as we go into this new week. Let's see what we have. Oh my gosh, the Three of Swords. Now I know this looks like a scary card, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not a scary card.
Okay.
Without heartbreak, okay. The message of Swords, it's all about our thoughts, right? We're really talking about what's going on up here, right? Which is a double-edged sword, right? If we don't know how to wield a sword, we can like cut ourselves, right? Or cut other people. It's up to you. This is a reminder that like heartbreaks, disappointments, everything like that, it's just redirecting your energy, right? No's are also things that help you grow. No's help you grow, right? So take the no's, see what it is. 3 is all about communities too. So again, I kind of feel like this is good. What we've been talking about, it's like reassessing your partnerships, reassessing your relationships, your communities. Soak in the sadness, feel the bad feelings, and say, I'm not going to be finding people that make me feel that way again, right? Moving through. It's all about moving through the heartache, and be careful how you talk about yourself. Life is
that's
just
for
story.
me. That's for me.
Yeah, we're all storytellers.
That's for me.
Life is just about the story we tell about ourselves, the story we tell other people, the stories we allow other people to tell us. Don't be your own enemy. You know what I mean? Talk highly about yourself as you move forward, because you deserve it too, right? You deserve taking the sadness, say, that was shitty, what did it mean to me, and move forward in ways that went through this. And now I know even more about myself than I did before, right? Yeah.
I think that's the other thing, like the low stuff. Oh yeah.
The bottom of the deck too, this card, it's another sword too, but it's the 8. And it like looks scary, but this person looks like tied up and in swords. But if you look, it's loose. It's actually just a row of swords. You can walk out of there. It might take some extra strength, but you have the power to walk out. You have the power to walk out.
The low stuff, and I think that's the other thing that's important, is like the low stuff has so much good shit in there too. We like to like be like, especially like, we're like, oh, everything's going to work out. And it is going to work out. And think like we can't protect ourselves from pain. Life, being alive is painful. But we
exactly. And this is, I know,
come up with the ways that you're going to move through that, because eventually shit hurts.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Well, that's it. Cause like 3s is about finding new communities, right? 3, fun community connection. And then 8s are all about necessary shakeups that have to happen to move you to the next level. They have to happen. I'm sorry. It sucks.
I'm sorry.
But don't worry. You're gonna come out. You're gonna come out the other side. I promise you, you will. I promise you, you will.
I also love that you said what you're saying about the stories, because that seems like, at least for me and everyone that I love, that is the thing. It's not even what actually happened. It's not what's actually happening. It's literally the story the movie that you play, that you run through, that you get lost in, instead of letting the bad feeling happen, not getting attached to a story of it, and then proceeding on despite the story. Well, sure, the story can play.
Write a different story.
Yes.
You're the co-writer, honey. Write a different one. If you're not liking what you're seeing, I give you the permission. The universe gives you permission. You have permission to rewrite it. You have permission to take these damn blindfolds off.
Take them off.
These swords. You can do it. Don't stay there. It's not fun. It's not a fun time.
We don't like it.
No. But you can get through. You'll do it. I believe that you'll find people that will encourage you to do that if you're open with moving forward through it. Again, I'll say it again. That's going to be like my theme for this month, is like faith in yourself leads to stronger communities.
It does.
That's like my vibe this month.
That is your vibe. It's really good to have a tagline for the month, a theme, because we're all going through we're all going through the themes. We're all going through the stuff.
Life is too chaotic. You can't do everything at one time. It's like one step at a time.
Yes. Yes, precisely.
Yes,
do you have any astrology news for us? I know you have, so Kayla does do a Substack with all of her readings and stuff. I subscribe to her Substack, and I love getting her Substacks.
Thank you.
So that's
I worked
down
very
there.
hard on it. So
you did great. I love it. and it's very good. What are the planets doing? What do we need to know about?
The planets are doing so. Like I said, we're changing into a new eclipse season. So right, we're still thinking about how we are making our personal independence fit into our communities, right? We also have Mars is moving into Scorpio. So what I would say, we love Scorpio energy. Of all the water signs, though, like water flows differently through all three of the water signs. Scorpio can be a little stagnant. So I say lean into it. Like maybe if you're feeling a little angry, sit with yourself. Why are you feeling angry? Because anger is normally a gateway emotion to the real emotion that's down there, which is typically sadness or frustration or disappointment, whatever that might look like to you. Say that Scorpio energy. Understand that Scorpios also are the detectives of the zodiac, is what I would say. We're going into Scorpio season the 23rd of this month. So they're the detectives. Be a detective for yourself the rest of the month is what I would really say. Feel free to take notes, be like, that rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe don't react in that moment, but make a little note, sit in your alone time, be like, what was that really made me feel that way, right? That's what Scorpio season is really about, because we are leaving Libra season, which is all about like glamour and justice for yourself, right? And then Libra eclipse season will be until this time next year. So we have a lot of that energy of learning that. We also have a full moon October 28th, and that is going to be a good time. New moons are a great time for us to manifest, set new intentions, and full moons are a great time for us to release and say, hey, we did it. We worked really fucking hard, right? So we just had a full moon or a new moon yesterday. So work on these things. Be your own detective. See where your personal independence can be stronger and how it can be supported by your community. And then detective it around. Say, do I belong here? I actually belong over there. Feel free to do that. It's all about glamour, mystery, community this month.
Glamour, mystery, community. And what was your tagline once more?
Oh, faith in yourself leads to stronger communities.
Faith in yourself leads to stronger communities. And it's true.
Yeah.
The change comes from within.
It does. And I would say, just my advice, do whatever you want. The way that this month is going, I would really encourage one-on-one or smaller gets-togethers versus huge big parties. Really focus on like your tight circle is what I think that will be really beneficial for everyone to be doing this month.
Excellent. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Find those connections. Do it. You deserve people who understand you.
Yes. And you deserve to live a life that is your life. That is the life that you choose and not the life that you feel shackled to.
Yeah.
It is
you deserve
scary.
People that will help you do that.
Yes.
It's hard to do alone.
It's hard really to do alone. It's scary to make decisions for yourself. It's scary to change. All of it's very scary. Everybody who I know who does do those things, they get scared. And they do things scared.
Yeah.
I am learning how to do things scared.
Scary is just another emotion that we have with all the other ones, right? It's all friends. And the more we can sit in community. Yeah. The more we can sit in community with it, right? The better we're going to get.
Yeah. I believe in us. I believe in all of us.
Yeah. I believe in us. And more importantly, I believe in a thing called love, which we all have for each other.
Yes, we do. Oh, you're a joy. Yeah. You're a joy. You're a peach and a plum. What do you have anything coming up? Do you have any like events or like?
Yes, I have. Well, the witching hour is tomorrow at 8
The witching hour is tomorrow right here on the Trident Network, the Twitch and the Twitch.com.
The Twitch network.
The Twitch, it's the Trident Network on Twitch.tv.
Yes. Well, I will say too, I worked until like 3:00 last night. So also,
where's my
issues
brain?
Up here. So we're doing, where's my brain? So that is coming up. What else do I have? I have my newsletter comes out the first Friday of every month. I'm always booking readings. I'm always like posting little deals, like discounts you can get on my Instagram, as well as like astrology news, tarot pulls.
Yeah, you do post. Like, she posts a lot on her Instagram. She posts a lot of good stuff on her Instagram. So if you do use Instagram and you want to follow someone with the vibes, Kayla is that person.
Yeah. And I also do readings and stuff virtually. Yeah, I do almost everything virtually. And if you're in LA, come see me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Come see her. Same. I'm learning to do things that I find
Yeah.
scary. It does build confidence. Yes, Minecraft. That was the thing. Somebody wrote on Twitter, it's like the way to build confidence is to say you want to do something or go towards what you want to do and then do it. Even if it's scary, even if it's hard.
Yeah, manifestation is action.
Yes.
There's manifestation is not you just sitting at home thinking about you want. That's part of it, right? You have to have a plan. But manifestation is action, right? We have to do the thing, right?
Yeah. And if you've never done it before, of course it's going to be scary. Or if you've never completed it before, of course it's going to be scary. It's normal. It's normal to feel nervous and scary and anxious. Even people who have done things a million times before get anxious and feel weird.
And it's normal to ask for help and to ask for support. Yeah. Even if you're not sure you're not sure what support looks like to you. You don't have to know what support you need exactly to ask for it. Right?
That's true.
It might not be as fast acting as you want that support to be, but it'll be there for you. So ask for help, y'all. Life is too hard to do.
We got your back. People have your back, and the universe has your back.
Hell yeah.
And the change is coming from within. But I think we all deserve to live in a world and live lives that we are proud of. Sometimes that takes effort and moving through scary feelings, and it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it more than not wanting to do the thing and then doing the thing and then hating that you did it.
Exactly.
Wanting to do the thing and doing the thing, completely different vibe. Better vibe.
There's better. Nothing's worse than regretting or feeling like you could have done it. You know what I mean? You could have.
And you
could have done it. I'm saying.
Time waits for no one.
Yeah. Let me be your friend. Let me be
your friend.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Go follow Kayla, my friends. This has been this is so great. Go follow Kayla. I'm gonna post your stuff one more time.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, the witching hour is here at 8 p.m. You gotta be here
on my social medias. Yeah.
And always on social medias. And posting on, and she's got a website, and she's freaking crushing it. And I'm so grateful that you were here. Here.
No, I think thanks for making this space. You are one of my favorite people that I really only see online. I feel like we've actually only seen each other like twice in real life, maybe.
No, yeah.
2 or 3 times. Yeah. So I love all your stuff. I love supporting you. I love seeing everything you're doing. You're just very fun. So thanks for being my friend.
You're the best, Kayla. I cannot wait. More to come. Always more to come.
Yes.
Being in community and more collabs, and we're gonna do it. Yes, good. I feel good. I feel complete.
Me too.
We did it.
I do too.
Thank you for sharing all of your beautiful gifts and taking the time to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I love the yakking. I wish we had more time, but when I go back and edit it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, oh my God, why are we?
I get it.
I'm always like, God, all you do is talk. Amazing. Thank you all, chat. I love you guys. Thank you for coming through, always coming through to watch. This was a presentation on the Trident Network, a 3-pronged digital entertainment network. We do podcasts, we do YouTube, we do Twitch shows. The Witching Hour is going to be on here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. That's Kayla's show. Kayla and M, that's their show. And we also have these videos that go up on, so all of the past Sparks you can catch on YouTube. You can watch them all on YouTube, all of the combos I've had with everyone, and the ones that I've also had with just myself here. And then if you do love us, yes, the most important ones, the ones myself, in the quiet moments by myself. And then if you do like what we do here, you can always subscribe here on Twitch. You can always subscribe. We have a Patreon. And follows and shares help us immensely, and we love you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Kayla for bringing her gifts. Chat, I love you. I will see you so soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.